All right, ladies and gentlemen, today is 2.2, which is called Charades in our PLTW book. And what this game is kind of like the heads-up game that we have on cell phones, where you have a word on your screen, on your phone, that you put on your forehead, and you try to get your friends to guess what that word is. And when you flip your phone up, it gives you a point. You flip it down, it takes away a point. We have the rubric here on Canvas as well. We have some paper copies in the tech lab. This really is a one-day app. So while you guys are working on Charades, we will be grading the Build-A-Body apps up front and any other grades that you might need to be looking into. If you finish with Charades and all your other grades are good, you can start on 2.4, which is dynamic lists. Those are only for those of you that feel like you're pretty advanced at this point. So first thing we need to do, go to PLTW, go into App Creators, and we're going to scroll down to Lesson 2.2, which is Programming with Procedures for the Charades game. Over here, we're going to choose to download the 2.2 Charades file. Click Download here. It'll go into your Downloads folder. And then we're going to go into App Inventor, go to Projects, Import from Computer, choose the file, choose File again, go to Recents, and your Charades will be right here. I already have it on mine. So when it comes in, this is what it looks like. You can see, looking at the designer view, that you've got a button for the word phrase. And it says click here for word or phrase. You've got a label where your score goes, where it says number of correct guesses. The word phrase label is word or phrase to act out. The item label right now is that empty box. That's where we'll put the word that we're actually looking for our partner to guess. We've got a start timer, reset timer, time left label, skip button, reset game button, a clock, and a player, which has a time's up noise on it. When we go to blocks, there's a lot of code already written for us. So we have a reset game button dot click. What that will do is reset your score to 0, reset the text score to 0. Take the word that we're guessing completely out, set your time left to 30, and turn off your clock. Then we have this one that says reset timer button. That will just reset the timer and nothing else. So it only sets the timer to 30 and then turns the timer off. Part of 2.2 talks about redundant code, and redundant means repeated or unnecessary. So when we look at reset button click, and then we look at reset timer button, the reset button already gives you a way to reset the timer. Since it's only a 30-second game, it makes it so this reset timer button dot click is redundant. It's unnecessary to play the game. For now, we're going to leave it in here to make sure our game works before we start deleting code. But when I talk about redundant code later, that's what I mean, is extra stuff that's not necessary. Down here, we have our variables of score and timer. That's how we get them to show up to begin with. We have a start timer button. You would think that probably goes with the reset timer button. So I'm going to put those together over here. We have a skip button, which will take away a point. Here's our clock code. We're not going to want to change our clock code. That's what actually makes our clock go. It's stuff that we've built before and put in the backpack. They decided to give it to us for this particular app. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And that's all we have so far. What that means, I'm not sure if this is going to work on screen recording. Let's try. I want to show you what it looks like on the actual app. So I'm going to connect it to my phone. And this is what it looks like on the app right now. So I have a click here for word or phrase. This is where my word will show up. Start timer, stop timer, next word or phrase, and reset game. Right now, the timer is going to work. and you can see it counting down. I can stop the timer and reset it. But none of my word phrase buttons are going to work because we haven't created those yet. So that's what we're going to do first. Now, since we want that word or phrase button to change as we go through the list, we're going to have to create a new variable. I'm going to kind of scroll down to some empty space. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is go to variables and say initialize global something. Right now it defaults to name, but this is actually going to be our word list. So that's what I'm going to type into the box. With our word list, we actually have the word list in it. So we're going to go up here to lists under blocks. We're going to pull out the second one, which says make a list. This gives us the option for 2 words right now. We're going to want that to be 10. This little blue gear right here in the middle, we click on that, and it opens a menu so that we can add more items into our list. And we just drag and drop until we get our 10. Right? So we've got our list here, and now we have to choose the words that go into our list. That goes on text. The very first one in text is an empty box. We're going to choose random words that we can put into this list. So I'm going to make a teacher version of student excuses. So my first one, student needs to go to the bathroom. That's why they're not doing their work. Second one, student failed a test. Third one, there was a fire drill. The principal came in. Someone has a crush. Or I probably could have just put gossip in that one. Pencil needs sharpened. So you get the general idea. Get your list of 10 in there, and then go on to video 2.